for me?
My first name is Siham, S-I-H-A-M.
And how long have you been involved in Occupy Boston?
Since the beginning.
When was that?
Since the first meeting we had, which was mid-September. So.
Did you actually live at the camp here?
I was not an actual occupier. I was a weekend occupier. So I'll go down there on weekends. But I was on camp like every single day after work, 4 o'clock. I stay there until the end of G and then I go home.
So at tonight's General Assembly, you made a proposal for a call to action for embassies, Occupy embassies in Washington, D.C. And you mentioned that your involvement with the Arab Spring and encouraging and working with other countries. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved in working with the Arab Spring and the other countries?
Okay, my last name is Jihad, so that would answer a lot of questions. I was born in Morocco. I spent about like the first 15 years of my life in Morocco. And so that basically, I have been the black sheep of Morocco for a very long time, always speaking out against the dictatorships and always being outraged at the fact that us in the United States keep on kind of showing them support, like not caring about what they put their people through, even though like we're kind of the land of the free and the home of the brave, like, and it's just basically in contradiction of what we stand for as a country. So when Arab Spring started, I just felt like this is the opportunity that I've been waiting for, and I didn't think I was going to see it in my lifetime. And I just basically started, especially that I had access to people from these countries. So we're able to organize some major action, like including going and protesting before the United Nations, handing out proposals to the United Nations, etc. So I was there for Tunisia, not so much because it happened so quickly, but we did do one action for Tunisia. Egypt, we did several actions for it. Libya, same thing. I was just, so upset that Yemen and Bahrain are not getting the same attention as other countries, even though people are being butchered there. But they're not basically critical to the United States, and they're not exactly friends of the United States. So basically, we haven't been hearing about them, and that's wrong. So I'm trying to correct that wrong. What else? And as somebody who's from Morocco, I have been interviewed on, so many TV programs in Morocco and in the UK as well. And I was able to kind of speak on behalf of the movement February 20th. And I created the February 20th chapter United States with, other activists, and we planned several actions for the past year. And this is why, like, when Occupy started, I'm like, this is just getting better and better for me. Like, this is what I was born to do. So it wasn't even a question for me as to whether or not I was going to join Occupy. It was just something, it's a matter of fact, I will.
So during the General Assembly, you mentioned that you had received some threats from other countries and other governments. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, the Moroccan Secret Service apparently want me to come and stand court-martial for treason. So they sent me official paperwork for that, which basically is laughable, like, okay. And they slashed my tires 3 times, and I have it documented with the Boston police. There's this one guy who is kind of stupid enough to make a video of 15 minutes kind of dissing me, and at the end, like, he picks up a gun and he says, "I will pop one in your head, I know where you live." And it was just basically, I was threatened with rape. I was threatened that they would rape my 2-year-old while I'm watching, and that was like the most disturbing threat. Like, I laughed off every other threat because, like, basically just come and do it, so they're just talking about it. But for somebody, like, to understand, it just gives you an idea as to, like, how low they are willing to stoop. Like, this is a 2-year-old that's done nothing to you whatsoever. So there's that, and there's the fact that I'm a single mom, and that does not necessarily sit well with communities from the Middle East. So, like, I was attacked, like, my smear campaign, I wouldn't even, like, start with the smear campaign, because that's kind of secondary by comparison to the actual physical threats that I was done.
So, having received all of these threats, having been involved as heavily as you are, why do you think it's important to continue?
Are you kidding me? Like, all my efforts are just they just get me, like, I'm drawing on my anger and everything that they're putting me through and all that frustration for me to basically thank you, because you're fueling my anger against you. And basically, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not the type of person that gets easily intimidated. This is I told them, and I'm telling them again, do your worst. The worse you do it, the more determined I am, and I will not stop until that system of dictatorship and whatever it is that's basically supporting you from the United States are out of the picture completely.
There's a lot of Middle Eastern women, as Muslim women, that are afraid to get involved in these types of actions, to speak out, simply because of the sort of the culture that they're raised in. What would you tell them?
Getting your voice back, okay? Don't let anybody take it away from you. If you're, culturally speaking, culture is not religion, and religion tells you that if you see something that is wrong, you have to correct it. And basically, I want to appeal to your conscience as opposed to anything else. Ask your conscience, when you see all these pictures, when you see all these videos on YouTube, what does it tell you? Are you going to sit comfortably in your lazy boy chair and say, I don't care about the rest of the world, I'm just going to raise my kids? Or do you say, you know what? The world needs me right now, and I need to get up and do something about it. So I urge you to please find the strength within you to just, regardless, I'm not going to tell you like regardless of what the price you have to pay, because I had to pay a hefty price and you don't necessarily have to, but do what you can. Do the bare minimum that you can. If anybody does the bare minimum, we'll be in a lot better place.
A lot of immigrants from other countries that are here have left a much worse regime or country than they are in now, and so a lot of them are hesitant to get involved in Occupy or any kind of actions because they think that it's not as bad here. What would you say to those immigrant communities?
I would tell them that you don't have to choose between two bad things and one of them is worse than the other. You deserve better. You deserve the best. Why are you picking one thing because, oh, well, it's a little bit better, it's less worse than where I was before? No, why don't you like have self-esteem and respect yourself as a human being and other fellow human beings and decide, I want what's best. I want the best. I will not settle for anything else. Please stop settling. Stop settling. This is what we do. We settle for like, they shut us up, they like throw us a bone and we're okay with it. No, I want the whole freaking steak. You know what? I want the whole freaking cow. We deserve it. Let's go for it. So get out of your cocoon, okay? Get out of your cocoon. You don't have to settle. You don't have to settle. And your family, your friends back home rely on you because we have a larger margin for kind of liberty and freedom of expression, and we have a stronger impact on what's going on inside because you know what, they can't get us with their war machines, they can't get us here, and we have a margin of freedom of expression, and it is on us, on our conscience. If you don't get up and stand up and use that and use it to our advantage and use it to do good in the whole entire world. And if you think that the US, just in spite of all the lies that we are being told by all politicians, and in spite of the fact that if you don't care that your voice does not count, then there's not much I can tell you. Like if you're content of just basically just surviving, that's on you. But you know, there are other people who want to live as opposed to just surviving. I deserve to live. I deserve to live with freedom and dignity and equality. And the Occupy movement is your only chance to do that, because this is an elite. This is the creme de la creme. Like this is an elite. These are people that believe in justice in the entire world, starting with the United States, being as you know one major force in the world that that has an impact and an effect on other systems and regimes around the world. You can make a change from right here, and you'll be surprised as to how far it will reach. Go ahead.
Earlier during GA, you mentioned that the FBI had paid you a visit. Can you tell us about that visit briefly?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a man and a woman that came in and they identified themselves as being from the FBI. I have witnesses because after we got shut down from Dewey Square, I opened my home to several occupiers who are currently occupying my living room with tent and everything. I have a tent in the living room, so like, yeah. So my son calls it the castle, and like he mic checks me and everything. He's an Occu baby. Everybody loves him. And so I had witnesses that these people came, and they sat down. I invited them in. I'm like, yeah, whatever, humor me. And they sat down. They're like, okay, well, like I said, you know, they started with the fact that we're here to help you. I'm like, yeah, I complained to you back in March. I could have been dead and buried and completely decomposed by now. But thank you for caring about my life and showing up finally. But, you know, they came straight out and said, you know, this is why we're here, etc., etc. Basically, I told them flat out, I will not stand for racial profiling. They said, we want to get your side of the story. I'm like, there is no story to it. And everything I do I told them, if you had anything on me, would be having this conversation in one of your hellholes as opposed to my living room. And since you are in my living room and basically accusing me because of my last name, then boo-ha-ha, you know? That's my last name.
What did they accuse you of?
Well, they said that seemingly, they said, well, we're not accusing you, quote unquote, but your name has come up several times, and we're concerned that about your current actions that seem harmless right now, but could lead to something more violent or something more sinister. And I just realized that slapping a federal officer is like a jailable offense. I'm like, stop myself, especially that I preach nonviolence. So like, but the biggest slap in their face is basically that I'm still here, doing what I need to do, and I'm going to go public with this so that they can know that just because I'm Muslim, you're not going to stop me from being an occupier. I know that Muslim occupiers are basically kind of rare and few in between, but you know, I'm happy to be kind of to hold that, you know, torch and just say, you know, hey, Muslims are here too. Your problem are my problem. You know, joblessness is my problem. Homelessness is my problem as much as it is yours. And guess what? Terrorism is my problem as well. It hurts me. It hurts my community. So stop your stereotyping. My last name does not need to be vilified any more than it has been. And if you believe the media, then I can't help you. If you believe Fox News, I can't help you. But here I am with the last name of Jihad and willing to make a change. So do something about it.
Well, thank you for your fight, sister.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
We'll occupy the almost is the view till you do. The bidding of the many, not the few. We are the many, you are the few.